Hey everybody, Keith at Total Seal Piston Rings here to talk a little bit about materials and material technologies. Everybody asks me a question, what's the right ring material to use? What's the right part? What do I need to use? Well, there's a couple ways to kind of tell. One is to call us. Let's talk about your application. What is it you're doing? What are we doing with this? Is it normally aspirated? This is turboed, 6 stages of nitrous on top of a turbo. What do we got? What's the application? Because it's all about temperature. It's all about the environment the engine runs in. Are we in an environment that's prone to detonation? Are we in an environment that's prone to heat? But we're going to talk just a little bit about rings themselves, and then we'll talk a little bit about how to tell how that ring's working in your engine. So when the piston ring was first invented by John Ramsbottom for a steam engine, what did we have to work with back then? Well, we had this right here, cast iron. Good old plain cast iron piston ring. And hey, works great, handles a reasonable amount of tension. Not real good with detonation, not real good with big boost, big nitrous, not real good with real high temperature environments, but for, air compressors, pumps, low compression engines, works pretty well. It's been used for 100 years plus. And it's a relatively good part. Now, one of the ways you can kind of tell a ring quality of the material is listen to the ring. That's cast iron. Just kind of a dull thud. I'll even drop it over here on this table. Just kind of a thud. Now, as time goes on, we evolve better and better materials. Now, this guy here, this is a ductile plasma moly ring. So one of the questions I asked during my seminars is, how many people have run a chromoly piston ring? Well, you'd be wrong. Chromoly's tubing. It's what we make race car chassis out of. What we're referring to is the coating on the ring. Is it either chrome or is it moly? It can't be both. It's one or the other. In this particular case, the ring itself, the base material, is a ductile iron. And it has a plasma moly coating in the face of the ring. This is kind of the next generation of rings after the cast irons. And one of the ways to kind of tell if you've got a good ring material is, again, that ring will ring. You can hear it has a ring to it. It doesn't go thud like the cast iron. Here's the next part. Nice ring, does a nice job. Check that out. Can't do that to a cast iron ring. More destructive analysis here. That is a ductile plasma moly. Now, ductile plasma moly is a good ring. It works in a lot of applications. Handles some heat, handles some detonation, handle a bit of boost, a little bit of nitrous, but you start putting this into a severe environment and you will fatigue or creep the metal. You'll lose the tension in the ring. And we'll talk about that after we talk a little bit about these. This is the next evolution. This is a stainless steel ring. 440B stainless steel, chrome nitride coated. Again, the next step up from this. Handles more heat, more temperature, doesn't use moly. Moly's a nice coating, but moly likes to flake. Moly likes to chip. Put that in a boosted piece, put it in a piece that detonates, you'll blow that moly right out of the ring, and that in turn will destroy your engine. This is a stainless steel ring. This particular ring happens to be 440B stainless, has a chrome nitride or CRN face coating. This coating will not flake, it will not chip. You could take it to a bench grinder and grind it off, but it's not going to come off under normal circumstances. And again, you can hear that ring. Hear that ring. So this ring, again, will handle even more temperature than the ductile ring. And again, look at that. I don't want it to snap and pop me in the face, but these are the kind of things I can do to that ring, and the material is still good. Now, kind of a hard time sealing up. Don't think that's light tight anymore, but that handles a tremendous amount of heat. But moving up the ladder even further, now you're into the big daddy. Now you're into tool steel. This is M2 tool steel. This is the toughest ring generally available. We do rings out of very exotic materials for the aerospace world. Inconels and cobalts and stellites and 17.7s and all kinds of crazy stuff that handle massive, massive temperatures. But this is the highest temperature material generally available in the automotive world. This is M2 tool steel. Very tough. It's available with no coating. You can get PVD coatings on it like the AP ring here. Very good, very tough part. And again, harder to hear it, but it's got a ring. There we go. That's gonna do some nasty things, but look how it's trying to return back. That is how much more resilient. It has a much better spring to the material, but that is M2 tool steel, the toughest ring material commercially available for the piston ring market. Now, the way to tell how that ring's doing in your engine is we're going to look at that open gap, that free gap. We build an engine, we're writing down, crank end play, bearing clearances, we're writing down valve spring pressures, ring end gaps, we're writing all this stuff down. One of the things you want to record is the free gap or that open gap. We have talked about this in the past. That gap should only change a little bit, maybe 80, 100 thousandths between a new ring and coming out of your engine after it's been run. That ring goes in like that, it comes out like that, it comes out like that, all staggered, overheated, bent. It has got a problem. Now, either that ring material is not tough enough for your application, or you've got a serious tune-up problem. Now, the tune-up problem, you're going to see that other places. You're going to see it in the plugs. It's knocking head gaskets out. It's beating up the top side of the rod bearing. Another place to look that a lot of people don't notice, look at the top side of your wrist pin bores. You start seeing dark top sides of the wrist pin bores. And this piston's kind of a perfect example. You can see that in there. That engine, more than likely, has a detonation or a tuning problem. It's starting to darken the top side of the wrist pin bores. You'll see it there before you'll see it in the top side of the bearing. If all of that looks great, everything's fantastic. Plugs look great, head gaskets look good, bearings look good, wrist pin bores look good, everything looks good, and we're still collapsing that ring, you simply don't have the right ring material. So we have to look at it, tune-up problem or wrong ring material. If it's collapsing the ring, everything else looks nice in there, you need to give us a call. Let's talk about what you've got in it for a ring and make sure it's the right ring for your application. Hopefully you guys got a little something out of this. I had fun destroying parts. If you have any questions, please give us a call here at Total Seal.